Our gathering chant can be found in the music issue, number 127, Beyond the Days. In the music issue, number 127. Please stand and join in singing. Beyond the days of hope and mystery, we see a light of faith renewed, and in a longing we thirst for guidance to walk with you day by day. 40 days and nights you guide the steps of our journey. May your presence be felt in the whisper of your voice. Beyond the days of hope and mystery, we see a light of faith renewed, and in a longing we thirst for guidance to walk with you day by day. Not on bread alone are we to walk on this journey. Speak the words that are life to the yearnings of our hearts. Beyond the days of hope and mystery, we see a light of faith renewed, and in a longing we thirst for guidance to walk with you day by day. In your hands, O God, we feel the touch of your guidance. Keep us safe in your care. May your gentleness be there. Beyond the days of hope and mystery, we see a light of faith renewed, and in a longing we thirst for guidance to walk with you day by day. On our Lenten path we see the dawn of a new day. Be our vision of hope, be the promise of our lives. Beyond the days of hope and mystery, we see a light of faith renewed, and in a longing we thirst for guidance to walk with you day by day, to walk with you day by day.
Why don't you sit down? And this is on. I have a small confession. Mary said, when the red light is on, it's off. When the green light is on, it's on. I'm kind of colorblind, so, I just kind of winged it. So it kind of works. Thank you so much for coming back. It means I did something right, or you had nothing else to do tonight. So, you can figure out what you want to figure out for that. But if this is your first night, you missed. I gave out cake and everything on Monday. So you snooze, you lose. That's that old saying. But our theme for this little mini mission is Jesus, CEO, Chief Executive Officer. Because if we make Jesus our Chief Executive Officer, well, that, really and truly, nothing else can go wrong. I'm just going to repeat one thing that I said on Monday. When I went to St. Anthony's, I told the teachers and then the staff and then the parents and then the students that if we put that at St. Anthony's, I don't know what you did before I got there. I really don't care. But I said, with me, God has to be first, faith and service second, academics third, and the rest fall into place. So in these days of Lent, if we keep God first, I think we're in the right place. So I have some fun gimmicks later on, just so you know. I opened my desk drawer, and I found all these little sacramentals. So if you'd like to, after our little service tonight, come up and take one. I'll tell you what's here. There's a Lenten cross of the nails you could put on. There's a prayer to the Holy Family. And there's a prayer to St. Anthony, and it's a piece of cloth that touched St. Anthony. So you could have that if you wish. And I'm going to move these three back. So and if there aren't enough, I do have a lot of these, so I'll give them to Miss Boyle, and when she comes to church, she can give you those. So, I want to start tonight with this phrase. Jesus gave us visions of something larger than ourselves. Jesus gave us visions of something larger than ourselves. So you have to forget the Burger King slogan, have it your way. You have to forget, you deserve a break today. You have to forget that, because everything has to be larger than ourselves. We have to be outward people. So I want to mention this to you. If you remember in the scriptures, Jesus went up to the fishermen and he said, stop what you're doing and come follow me. And they did. And they stopped and they followed him. He spoke to a woman at the well and said, follow me and you will never be thirsty. It's no secret that people are looking, especially in 2023. People are looking for something larger than themselves. They want to follow. And when you allow people to follow you because you're following Jesus, great things will happen. Great things will happen because it's your simple example. And we often have no idea how we touch people. We really have no concept or idea that something small that you did. You're in the supermarket and the person in front of you is short $1 or so, and you say, don't put that back. Don't put that back. let me get that. I'm sure you've been on a line in a drive-through, and you went to go pay, and the person said, it's already paid for. That person took care of you. You don't even know who that person is. You have but they did that. And my guess is they did that because somebody did that for them. So I want to tell you a really beautiful story. One of our teachers, Brother Richard, gives an assignment to the freshman class of paying it forward. Someone's been nice to you, or you think something's nice in school, you should pay it forward. So a freshman boy came into my office, and he had a box of candy. And he said, Brother David, you're always so sweet to people, so I bought you this box of candy because you're sweet. And I thought, oh, how kind. And then he said, Brother Richard told us this. And then throughout the day, I heard from teachers they got notes or someone bought them a flower or something. But the biggest thing that happened, I get a phone call from a parent. And they say, Brother David, our daughter has won one of the scholarships for St. Anthony's High School. She has won $2,500 each year for 4 years. So that's $10,000. I said, gee, that's great. God bless you. Isn't that wonderful? And she said to us last night that Brother Richard told us about doing something forward. I said, yes, he did. I heard about it. I got a box of candy. She said, well, my daughter wants to give the scholarship back to St. Anthony's because someone probably needs it more than us. I said, well, that's very beautiful, but my goodness, Brother Richard had no concept that that would happen. She said, I know that. And we're okay. We're okay with the tuition. So I'm writing a check for $10,000, and I'm giving it to you tomorrow. And I want you to help someone with their tuition. You know, at that moment I want to say, okay, God, I can die today. I did something good. Somebody thinks that what I'm walking around saying makes sense. And so I was aghast. And when I spoke to the girl and made this big fuss, she put me in my place. She said, well, isn't that what we're supposed to do? This is not something extraordinary. It's just like the box of candy that you got. And I thought, oh my God, it's the widow's mite in reverse. You know? So when we're told that Jesus makes us realize that we're always looking for something larger than ourselves, how wonderful. You know, we all want direction. Everybody wants direction. Now, I have come to St. Hugh's to the 7 o'clock Mass on Sunday about 5 or 6 times in my 4 years. We live right next door to St. Elizabeth's. Father Irenell is our chaplain. 2 + 2 is 4. I go next door. You know? But if we have something that we couldn't do that, St. Elizabeth's Sunday Mass isn't to 9. So we've come to the 7 here. I've never driven here. I've come with Brother Joshua. If you've ever driven with Brother Joshua, it's like the Batmobile. It's like you're here in 3 seconds. You're really not allowed to talk in the car. You know. So I've never knew how to get here. I gotta be perfectly honest. You know. So I put it in the GPS on Sunday to come to the 10:30 Mass. This is how it got, I don't know how I ever got here, but this is what it did. It said, come out of St. Anthony's High School, make a right on Pigeon Hill, make a right on Wolf Hole, take that to New York Avenue, and keep driving. I'm thinking, this church is like 5 minutes away. Where am I going? Am I going like to England? Where am I going? So it took a very long time to get here. When I left the 10:30 Mass, and I went in the GPS and I said, home, it was like 2 seconds. Take this to Depot, boom, and then you're there. And I thought, well, why didn't it say that? That was the direction. We all want direction. We all want direction. A recipe. We all need a recipe. My grandmother made the most delicious, I say gravy. Some people say sauce. Grandma made the most delicious Sunday gravy. And I remember saying to her, Grandma, I want the recipe. Oh, and she said, oh, here it is. It's very simple. You fill the pot to the dent. I said, okay, Grandma, I don't have a dent. She said, you can't make it. Simple. But we all want direction. Well, coming Monday, coming tonight, you sought some direction. When I spoke to Father and Mary about doing this, I asked direction. Well, I think it would be nice if we had the Blessed Sacrament exposed. I think it would be nice if we had music. I need a table. We all need direction. Today I walked around the school a great deal of time because I wanted to see how things were going. We're in the doldrum month, March. And people said, why are you walking around so much? I said, I'm playing principal. So it's a game, just bear with me. So I also made fun last Monday night about mission statement. Everybody has to have a mission statement. Those of you who are parents, those of you who are married, those of you who work, we all have a mission. Our mission is, husbands, be good to your wives. Wives, be good to your husbands. Raise your children well. Give them the faith. That's the mission. Not these big long statements that, semicolon, dot, this, nonsense. Be good to one another. And if you do that to one person continuously, that's the mission. So I really think that's a simple way. If you think about Jesus, he said yes a lot. Think about that. Jesus said, yes, I will come to your home. Yes, I will come to your party. Yes, Martha and Mary, I will raise your brother from the dead. Yes, Peter, I will meet your mother-in-law. Yes, I will heal your daughter. Yes, Father, I will do what you ask of me. The word yes is a difficult word. Think about it. I don't want you to raise your hand. But think about the person that always asks you for something, and you instinctively act like you didn't hear them. Or when you see them coming, you instantly go a different direction. In school I do that especially when I taught. When that child would come out of their seat and head to my desk, I'd say, "Dear Jesus, give me patience." Because that was a needy person. There's always the the parishioner, the person who's always in church, who is very needy. And you see them coming, and you instantly want to be like, for those of you who are old like me, like bewitched, you want to twitch your nose, and hopefully you'll disappear. But that's the very person. That's the very, very person that needs you. You know, I love that, I think that phrase, when I was a child, I acted like a child, I did this and I did that. And so when we were kids, for Lent, you gave up candy bars and this and that. And then as you got older, you got more mature, you said, well, I'm going to do something, not give up, I'm going to do something more for Lent. Well, maybe this Lent, maybe when that person is coming your way, you would do something different. You would go to them first. You know, I'm a Franciscan, and I'm nothing like St. Francis. He was holy, good, all that. I joined because I like the outfit. You know what I mean? Very easy. But I love that St. Francis said, when he hugged the leper, the person who was filled with swords, and people ran from the leper, when he hugged the leper, his life changed. He was transformed. So, in a world where it's so easy to say, no, I'm not available. No, I can't do that. I ask you to say yes. I want to tell you a beautiful story about my mother. I am a mama's boy. I'm the only child. The sun rose and shined, and it should have. The sun rose and shined on me. You know, I was everything. Okay. Anytime I was with my mother, if we were out shopping or things like that, and she saw a beggar, or what we would say in New York, Manhattan, a bum, she would open her purse, always, and give that person $1, $5, whatever. Always, always. Never would she say no. Never. And so, one day, as a high school student, because you know this, high school students know everything. I don't know if you knew that, but they have mastered everything at 15. They know it all, really. I said to her, flippantly, Mommy, why are you doing that? He's just going to go buy liquor. And she said to me, as only a mother could say it, you have no idea that could be Jesus. I froze in my steps. I've never forgotten that. When she looked at me, I would say harshly, you know the mother look. Those of you who are women, you have given that look many times. And she said, that could be Jesus. You have no idea. I see people like that very differently because of my mother. Jesus was always open to people and their ideas. Jesus was always open to people and their ideas. He was open to the rich, the poor, the women who had a different job than most in Galilee and Jerusalem. He was open to everybody. Because when you're open to other people, you learn so much more. So I have to tell you my most favorite grammar school story as a young teacher. I was teaching the 4th grade at St. Francis Xavier School in Park Slope. I had 52 in the class. You know, that's what you did. Okay. And the school had purchased a new Duquesne film strip. It was the newest film strip because it moved on its own. You didn't have to turn it. Remember that the film strip would say, Christopher Columbus, boop, boop, and you had to turn it. Discovered America, boop, boop. In 14, boop, boop, 92, boop, 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 boop. You had to do that. Well, this thing on its own would go, Christopher Columbus, and it just, so the night before, you had to sign it out. You had to, promise that you'll never yell at a child. You had to go sign this out. And I signed it out, and I prepared the night before. The next day in the schoolyard, I said, boys and girls, 4th grade, 4-1, we're going to go upstairs and see the greatest film strip on Christopher Columbus. Wait till you see this. And, in 4th grade, everything's exciting. Yay! So we ran up those steps. We said the morning offering the quickest way I knew how to say it. And shut the lights, action camera, and the film strip projector didn't work. I was like a crazy person. So, when something doesn't work, here's how you fix it. You hit the side. That'll make it work. Well, it didn't. So I was so frustrated because I had planned the night before. I got permission to leave the friary, to go. This was the old days. You couldn't talk to anybody after 8 o'clock. All those things. And I can still see this young man, John Nonamaker. He was like 4'1". He had red hair, 1,000 million freckles, and a very strange voice. And he said, Brother David. I said, yes, John. Can I try it? And I got indignant. And I became the typical Catholic school teacher. I put my hands in my sleeves like this, and I said, well, John, if you think you can do this far better than brother, I go right ahead. And the other 51 students are like, oh my God. And he said, brother, if you plug it in, it'll work. Now, I gotta be honest. The vain part of me wanted to rip that plug out of the wall. But I said, well, boys and girls, today we're going to learn about Christopher Columbus, and brother has just, I took my hands out of my sleeves, and brother has just learned from John Nonamaker how to use this projector. That story quickly taught me about humility, but I was open, not nicely in the beginning, to new ideas. And since then, I have to be very honest, when a student or a teacher will come to me about a project or new idea, I don't say, oh, that's preposterous. What are you, crazy? What are you, on drugs? We're not doing that. I say, oh, I never thought of it that way. Let me see. Because Jesus did that. And if Jesus did that, who in God's name is David? Really? Who am I? Who are you? Nobody. This is the Son of God. He was open to other people and their ideas. How beautiful. How beautiful. Jesus believed in them. Jesus believes in us. That's why we came here. That's why you go on Sunday. That's why you help in social ministry. I got to tell you, they really love you. Before I came here, when I arrived back in New York, people said, oh, I hope you get to meet Father Bob from St. Hugh of Lincoln. Honestly, the other brothers said that, Brother Vincent in particular. He's such a holy, good man. So I expected like, and like you're so normal. There wasn't like clouds, here comes Father Bob. Well, and I think it's because what I saw on Sunday when people left church, whether they were Hispanic, German, Italian, Black, Oriental, you greeted everyone. And in many cases, by name. By name. You know? How often do I have to say to a student, go to your pastor and get this letter? And they say, brother, I don't know my pastor. That's a problem. So, Jesus believed in them. He changed people's names. Simon, he called Peter, and he said, you're the rock. I'm going to build the church on you. Peter wasn't always the greatest follower, but Jesus believed in him and chose him. Jesus believes in you. You, Rosalie, I hope the flowers are still alive. You, and you. I met someone at St. Elizabeth's about 3 or 4 months ago, and they said, brother, are you doing our mission this year? I said, no. I'm going to be going to St. Hugh. I'll be there. I thought, don't tell Father Aaron now. How lovely. So I have my own groupies. I think that's neat. But Jesus, because we want to believe in something greater. We want to believe. And Jesus, in turn, believes in you. You all know by now there is no such thing as an accident or a coincidence. God puts things in front of us. Now we have the option to say, yes, God, no, God, go away, God. But that's the truth. Jesus educated his followers. Jesus educated his followers. Here's how. He forgave them. He prayed with them and for them. He served them. He loved them. He loved them. He defended them. He held them accountable. And then he died for them. Parents, teachers, don't you do that? Don't you do that? Don't you love your children? Don't you defend them? Don't you correct them? Don't you instruct them? When you do that, you're walking the walk of Jesus. I love when a parent says to me, oh, they will be punished at home. I want to go through the phone and kiss that person. They did something. It's a teachable moment. Every moment in the Gospels, I believe, are teachable moments. Teachable moments where Jesus is giving us the recipe. Fill the pot to the dent. Fill the pot to the dent. It's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's so important. Jesus gives us tangible things to remember them. Behind me is the most tangible thing, himself, the Eucharist. I said this to Jean, the organist. I said this to Father. I said this to the business manager. I was so edified on Sunday at the singing in this church. So edified. Well, that doesn't happen by accident. That happens because Jesus has given us himself, a tangible thing. Well, don't you do that? Don't you do that with your families and your friends? You give them tangible things. I opened my desk drawer and found these things. Tangible. Take them. Remember. So simple. I want to tell you a story. My mother, God rest her soul, my father was the cook in our house. My dad could cook anything. My mother, no. Lovely woman, holy, well, almost holy, good, loving, but she could sew anything. A girl would say, Rosie, I saw a dress in Saks Fifth Avenue, and I want to get that dress. My mother would say, let's go to Saks. She'd look at the dress. She would come home. They would buy the material. She would come home. She would take a newspaper, I'm not getting fresh, and put it on the girl, cut a pattern, and in an hour she would sew the dress. I went to 17 proms. Not because I was like the stud of Stuyvesant Town, but my mother could sew the dress. So I was like the gimmick. Go ask Miggy to go to the prom. His mother will make the dress. He'll be very happy. But every time she sewed anything, this is what she did. She'd have the material on the kitchen table. She would take the scissors and put it on the material, and she blessed the scissors and prayed. And then she would cut the dress. Every single time. It was a spiritual experience. It was a beautiful spiritual experience. Don't you do that? It's Christmas, you make certain kinds of cookies. You go and find the gift, or you're in a store and you say, oh, that reminds me of someone, and you go and give it. You have traditions in your home. You come before the Blessed Sacrament. You go to the stations during Lent. Whatever you do, those are tangible things. Those are tangible things that you can hold on, that your children, that your children's children will say, remember when Grandma did this? Jesus wants everybody to come to the top. Jesus wants everybody to come to the top. Think about it. We rarely hear in the scriptures that Jesus ever ate alone. That's why I got to be honest. I love Pope Francis. I think he's like Superman. That he said, I don't want to live in the palace. I want to live among the people. I want to eat with everybody. You know, I want to be among people. Isn't that Jesus? We very rarely see in the scriptures that Jesus was alone and did things alone. Very rarely. The temptations, he was alone. That's it. He went to the wedding. He had a good time. He went to people's homes. He wants to get us to the top of the mountain. I said way back yesterday that our job is to get one another to heaven. Father's job as your pastor is to get you to heaven. That's why liturgies are special here. That's our job. If you're a grandmother, your job is to get your grandchildren to heaven. If you're a teacher, it's nice that they know every equation that God ever created, but it's far nicer to know that they will get to heaven because of you. I have 142 teachers. Most of them spend much more time getting children to heaven. You know how I know that? I see how they interact with them. Not just in the classroom. That's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. And my second to the last thing, Jesus sees us as a gift from God, and he loved us to the end. Jesus sees us as a gift from God, and he loved us to the end. Often Jesus prayed to his Father and said, the people were a gift to me. Jesus never slammed a door to anyone. Never. Never. One of my most favorite stories as a principal is from the place I came from before I came here, Notre Dame High School. There was a junior boy who was a real nice kid, but he was a scooch. He didn't do a lot of things wrong, but he did those things over and over again. And, so finally one day in my office, I said to him, his name was Adam Pope. Finally I said to him one day, Adam, enough is enough. You're suspended for 3 days. And he said very flippantly, with, that look that the teenager gives you, like, can you do that? Now, I wanted to lunge across the desk, but I didn't. I said, come with me. I took him by the hand, and I opened my office door. I said, let's look at my door. Read it. It says, Brother David Anthony, OSF, Principal. I have a door. You don't even have a door, Adam Pope. So yes, I can do that. This door says I can do that. He was suspended. Fast forward to graduation. It's graduation, everybody's kissing, hugging, crying, I'm gonna miss you. Okay. Adam comes to me and says, Brother David, can I talk to you? Now there's 1,000 people wanting to take a picture. I said, of course. He said, Brother David, thank you for having a door. And I know that door will always be open. I said, yes, Adam, that's correct. He's a lawyer. He's very successful. I hear from him at Christmas, and his last thing he always writes in the Christmas card is, do you still have a door? My point is, it's our job to get one another in this parish to the top. And the last thing I want to leave you with is something I just love. I want to ask you some questions, and I don't want you to answer. I just want you to think about them. Do you constantly rescue people, or do you hold them accountable? How much time do you really spend with God, with quality time? Do you spend time with God's forsaken person that he sends you? Are you a person of service? Or do you do it because it makes you look good? Do you give to people what you have? Do you love people in your family? Do you like them as well? Like Jesus, we have to be good examples. I love Holy Thursday because the bishop, the priest, the deacon reenacts Jesus being so humble and washing the feet. Now, I'm not going to wash anybody's feet, but I am going to tell you a story. For many years, I'm ashamed to say this, for many, many years, so forgive me, Father, I really thought Pontius Pilate was a great guy. I really did. I couldn't understand why Pontius Pilate, like they didn't name schools after him, like, Pontius Pilate Catholic Regional School, PPHS, go. I didn't understand that. Because when you look at the scriptures, Pontius Pilate tried to save Jesus, I thought. I was wrong. Pontius Pilate was a coward because he washed his hands of Jesus and said, "Take him, do what you want. Not my problem." So I want to say to you, as this mission ends tonight, every day you have an option. You can be Pontius Pilate, or Mary, would you come here? Would you put your hands here? Or you can be Jesus. Would you come here? Would you put your hands here? Or you can be Jesus to people. Pete, would you come here? Or you can be Jesus. Very often, we're Pontius Pilate. As our mission ends, I ask you, not father, not brother, not Jean, not Pete, not all the deacons can make the choice for you. You have to make the choice. Are you Pontius Pilate? Or are you Jesus? God bless you.
Please join in singing Tantum Ergo Sacramentum, which can be found in the Missalette on page 198, in the Missalette, page 198. Tantum ego sacramentum As we go forth, please join in singing in the music issue number 412, Christ Before Us. In the music issue number 412. Please stand and join in singing. Christ before us, Christ beside us, Christ to guide us all our days, He to carry all our sorrows, He to bear us perfect grace. Jesus, Savior, friend and brother, intercessor, Son of God, save your people in your dying and in rising conquer death. May we be for one another all that you would have us be. May we live your law of kindness, love, compassion, charity. May we climb your holy mountain. May we see your holy face. Visit now this humble dwelling. Dwell within this holy place. God before us through all ages, Christ beside us here today. Spirit, lead us forth forever. Guide and help us all our days. Christ the Savior, God the living, great Creator, Spirit blessed, Holy Three in One, immortal, come and be our welcome guest. O Redeemer, fill your servants with your words of lasting life. Give to those with hands of healing, love transcending pain and strife. Make us loving sons and daughters. Make us holy, kind and true. Set to labor for your kingdom
I just want to say thank you again. This has been a lovely experience for me. Those are little sacramentals, please take. If I washed your hands, those were very expensive towels. I bought them in Dollar Tree, so they're yours. It's my favorite store. Ask any of the faculty members that are here. It's my favorite store. So God bless you and thank you again.
So may I invite you to be seated just for a few moments more. Some words of thanks as we conclude our conversation. So first off, thanks to Jean and Pat that helped us to raise our a word of deepest thanks to our parishioner Mary. So a couple of months ago, Mary reached out to me and said that she had the perfect person for our parish Lenten mission. And I think we'll all agree that Mary was more than right. So Mary, and yes, the perfect person for sure. What a great lesson. Brother David, thank you. Here's your blessing on our lesson for us. I think it's no mistake that we are gathered here and that we have the pleasure of welcoming our Brother David and receiving his wisdom just after we read the gospel on Sunday of the one who had been born blind and who was given sight by Jesus. So Brother David began this evening by saying that Jesus had come to give us a new way of seeing beyond ourselves. So I know for myself, and I think I can speak for all of us, that Brother David has given us the gift of new sight in these 2 evenings. That he's opened our eyes to many brilliant rays of light and many invaluable pearls of wisdom. So, Brother David, we cannot thank you enough. Way back before the translation that we are presently using to celebrate the Mass, which is a beautiful translation for sure, but way back we used to pray this in one of the prefaces of the season of Lent. Oh Lord, each year you give us this joyful season of Lent. At first it may strike us as odd, but I think that Brother David has reminded us that, well, yes, this is a very joyful season indeed. A joyful season when we realize again our great dignity and the dignity to which we're called as God's beloved daughters and sons. A great season in which we recognize again that we are wholly baptized and that we are sent into the world to be the presence of Jesus in the world, as Brother David reminded us so powerfully at the end of the mission. So, Brother David, reaching over to your Italian heritage, I will say this: you have been benedizione and abbondanza.
Oh, beautiful. Mille grazie.
Perhaps you know that we have live streamed both evenings, and so others have joined us from afar or from home. And also, I hope you know that the live streaming is archived, so you can go back yourself, or you can tell someone who wasn't able to be here, go to the website, go to that part of the website, you'll be able to watch Brother David's both Monday and Wednesday for at least a week. Is that correct? For about 2 months, right? So it is there on our website for that long you'll be able to find it. So please do share this great good news with others. So we go now with our eyes fully open and our hearts filled with the joy of this holy season. We go in the peace of God to glorify God by our lives. Thanks be to God.
My mother would be so happy.
Can I give you a hug?
Sure, of
Thank you,
course.
thank you, thank you. Oh, it was wonderful. And listen, when you read the card and you see my last name, my husband.
explain to you now. Yeah.
Yep. Yep, thank you, so appreciated. Thanks, Pat. Thank you, appreciate it.
And then to be up here, because otherwise you may not be so motivated to come
I
up.
wish my principal was like that.
I know, my kids missed out on him because he's only there 4 years.
All right.
I was thinking the same thing
Yeah.
about Rosemary Walsh.
But it's amazing how, you know, how many people know him because of, he's just, that's who he is, and that's.
And you could just tell.
He loves. Yeah, yeah. Good night, Father Bob, thank
It
you.
worked out
Oh,
beautifully.
yeah, it really.
Yes, right?
Yeah, what a great turnout.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to do it.
Oh,
Oh, we have to do
oh,
that.
thank you, thank you. Oh, my God, I swear,
Very embarrassing. And you did it well. I was like, is he gonna try to make a joke out of it?
well, thank, I'm,
I had to.
Okay. That's your comments.
oh, do you? Oh, awesome, I'll be there. I'll be there.
I'll let him.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right, you're kicking us out, I know.
No, no, no.
These
Yeah.
are locked.
These are locked over here.
Great.
Is this like your feed?
Oh, yes.